if you guys have noticed, San Francisco has actually been arresting drug dealers lately. It's weird, right? San Francisco arresting drug dealers? No, you'd never see that. Well, they are, but it turns out there's a reason for that. That's because they're trying to avoid Trump sending the National Guard to San Francisco. So this is from Mario Narfall. This is a video from Adam P. Nathan. So Mario says, SF arrests 79 dealers to keep Trump's National Guard at bay. San Francisco just busted 79 suspected drug dealers, not thanks to a new crime plan, but reportedly to cut a deal with Trump. Mayor Daniel Lurie is said to have negotiated the crackdown to keep the National Guard out of the city amid federal pressure to clean up the open-air drug chaos. It's the courts that are failing the people of San Francisco by not prioritizing the safety of Americans. The streets were cleaned up for Trump. For now, it seems like a brilliant short-term move, but the real question is, will the judges keep them behind bars, or will they be released again into the diversion programs that they are failing? Well, a lot of these drug dealers, a lot of people say up to half of these drug dealers that are dealing fentanyl on the streets of San Francisco and just being allowed to do so, even though the cops all know who they are, a lot of them are illegal immigrants from Honduras. So you would think that once they get arrested for dealing drugs, that they would just be handed over to ICE and deported. But that's not what happens. They get arrested. The judges just cut them loose. They confiscate their drugs, and then they're back out dealing the next day on the streets. And former district attorney in San Francisco, Chesa Boudin, can shed some light on why they do that. But first, let's watch this video from Adam P. Nathan.
Here's the main thing hindering San Francisco's recovery. Last weekend, there was a surge to arrest drug dealers in San Francisco. 79 arrests were made. There was a partnership between SFPD and the feds, thanks to Daniel Lurie's successful avoidance of the National Guard in the city. Of those 79 arrests, if you were brought up by the feds, you most certainly will face prison time and then deportation. But if you're arrested by SFPD, you're going to go before a Superior Court judge here in San Francisco, and you're going to be referred to diversion and then eventually released. That means if you're a drug dealer on the streets of San Francisco and you're arrested by SFPD, you'll most likely walk free. The main thing hindering our recovery in the city is our terrible judges. We need to vote them out of office and bring in better people who are going to create accountability for the craziness on our streets if we want the city to get clean.
All right, so these drug dealers, the illegal drug dealers from Honduras. Let's listen to former district attorney, recalled and disgraced district attorney Chesa Boudin. And I've played this video several times on here, but this is the reason he gives for not deporting the illegal immigrant drug dealers from Honduras.
But we need to also recognize that a significant percentage of people selling drugs in San Francisco, perhaps as many as half, are here from Honduras. And many of them have been trafficked from Honduras. And we need to be mindful about the impacts our interventions have and about how those interventions can be effective. Some of these young men have been trafficked here under pain of death. Some of them have had family members who have been in Honduras who have been or will be harmed if they don't continue to pay off the traffickers that brought them here. These are not idle threats. I can tell you from a young Honduran man who I personally represented when I was a public defender, who was accused of selling drugs and who was guilty of selling drugs and who eventually pled guilty to what he was accused of, that when he cooperated years before I met him, when he cooperated with federal authorities in a different state, his father in Honduras was killed in retaliation. These are not idle threats, and we do not have the power to protect people in Honduras from these trafficking organizations. Solving the crisis we see in the Tenderloin is not and will never be as simple as making more arrests, prosecuting more cases, sending more people to jail or prison. It will never be an effective deterrent to send someone to prison for a couple of years if they know that their other alternative of cooperation with us or of not paying traffickers will result in their father or their wife or their child getting killed.
So I don't know about you guys, but it seems to me that what Chesa Boudin is suggesting there is that we just have to let them keep dealing drugs on the streets of San Francisco. Can't lock them up because they'll harm their family. This is a giant crock of bullshit, if you ask me. Will the Honduran cartels go after these drug dealers' families? Maybe. But if you arrest them, lock them up, or even deport them, I mean, I can't speak for the empathy of drug dealers or cartel members in Honduras, but you would think that if they get sent back to Honduras, they're going to see like, yeah, I mean, he got busted and sent back. I mean, we can't really hold him accountable for it. So we're not going to go after his family then. I don't know. But you can't just say, oh, the Honduran cartels are going to go after the drug dealers' families. So we just have to keep letting them sell drugs on the streets of San Francisco. And while we're at it, the city and the state will provide all the people that they're selling drugs to, the drug paraphernalia that they need to do the drugs, and will allow them to just openly do those drugs on the streets. This is San Francisco. This is the environment that they've created. So it's amazing. It's freaking amazing if you ask me.